first on Kenley Jansen. Can he focus on getting a big out before he worries about how other teams spend their money? I mean, come on. Kenley, I'm going to listen to Kenley Jansen.
And he has had a lot to say all winter. This is a guy who spit the bit, and I'm a Jansen fan, but he spit the bit. The Astros got to him twice in a 7-game series, and then the year before the Nationals got to him. And I got to sit there and listen to Kenley Jansen tell me what the Florida Marlins should do. I mean, shut up, will you please? A team that hasn't won a championship since 1988, and I got to listen to that. That's ridiculous.
And we talk about this, Chris. The idea that the players have talked about that there's collusion. There's not collusion this year. Teams are spending money. As you said, Hosmer's getting $120 million. Kane got $60 million. Darvish got $120 million. Yep. There's no collusion. There's just owners and teams now who are not giving contracts to guys like Carlos Gonzalez who have been in a decline for 2 to 3 years. They're not giving them 5-year, $150 million deals anymore. You want a 1-year deal on a prove-it deal? You've got it. You want a 3 or 4-year deal? Sorry, go somewhere else.
Absolutely right. 100%. You hit it right in the head. There's nothing else to say. The players are annoyed that the owners have gotten smart. That's what it comes down to. The players are ticked off right now that the front offices in the sport, a lot of these guys are smart, and they don't like that. Because if they're smart, they're going to make good decisions with their money, and that drives them crazy. Johnny, in the state of Florida, Florida's a big state. Johnny's he's either in the Panhandle or in South Beach, and he says hello. Johnny, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hi, John. Thank you, buddy. What's going on now?
You're exactly right with this Cousins guy. You can pay too much for a product. It's like everybody likes McDonald's French fries, but will you spend $10 on them? You can't pay that kind of price for a quarterback that hasn't done nothing. I guarantee you that the Minnesota the guy they traded for will win more games than Washington. The Cousin is going to be worse in Minnesota this year. Guaranteed. He's not a good quarterback. He's okay. He's not good.
That's Alex Smith, who Johnny's referring to, who, with Alex Smith. Now, listen, he hasn't won he has won more playoff games than obviously than Cousins has won. But, I mean, I think if we had to rank them right now, we probably would put Cousins a little ahead of Alex Smith. A little. We put Cousins around 13. We would put Alex Smith at 15, something like that. But that 2-spot deal is not worth $15 million. Bottom line, because that 2-spot deal also means other players. That's the issue. They didn't break the bank for Cousins. Hayden is a Jet fan. I'm dying to see what he has to say. All right, Hayden, do you want to go out there and get him signed for $30 million if you're a Jet fan?
No. I need a quarterback. I'm desperate for a quarterback, just like a guy who hasn't had a woman in a long time. I need one in the worst way. So, but
I don't like the comparison, but you may continue. Go ahead.
But I think some people out there can understand. My point being, though, is that if my options are to give Cousins $30 million and break the bank, or I can then go out instead and bring back McCown for, let's say, $8 to $10 million, draft the kid of the future, and even bring in a guy like Bridgewater or even somebody else, I'd rather do that. I don't want to break the bank and ruin my future for it. But I need to leave. I need to come out of April with a quarterback. It's.
Well, if I told you in April that you're going to have Teddy Bridgewater, Josh McCown, and Baker Mayfield, would you take it?
I'm happier. Yeah, I'd prefer that. If you're asking me what my preference would be, it would be that over Cousins. But I'm not going to cry, spilled milk if we get Cousins. We've got $100 million to spend. We have no talent to spend it on, so it's not going to kill our situation. So if I got Cousins, am I going to scream and yell and rant and rave? Absolutely not. They have to solve this issue one way or the other. My preference would just be to be the more conservative financial route and then spend that money elsewhere because we've all seen a guy like Nick Foles can win a Super Bowl. Case Keenum go to an NFC title game. For anyone to say that Kirk Cousins can't is ridiculous based on what we saw last year. But like you said, for $30 million, it's just a little too expensive for my taste. I don't think he's worth that money, just in my opinion.
I agree, even with a lot of money in a cap. Anything else you want to add today?
One last thing, Doug. I know you brought it up yesterday, but the hypocrisy of seeing Kobe Bryant being celebrated with accolades on the Me Too movement night in the Oscars made me want to vomit my mouth.
Yeah, it's a good point.
This is a man who was accused of rape. He had used his lawyers, and he had very great lawyers to intimidate the witness.
Listen, I don't want to make the alleged victim out to be a hero either.
Point being is they celebrated this man 2 nights ago and didn't even think about booing him off the stage. Shame on everyone in attendance that night. This man should not be forgiven for what happened in Colorado. Wonderful basketball player. We don't know what he is as a human being.
Well, I don't want to go that strong now. I mean, I think that we can get a little carried away with burying Kobe. My point is, as what I said yesterday, I can't listen to Kobe tell me about how he's, Robert Young, if a father knows best, and how he's this devoted husband when I know what happened when he did what he did in Colorado. That I can't listen to. I mean, I understand you won your Oscar. I heard it was a very good short documentary. My sons loved it. So I'm not. Nobody's negating. Nobody's telling me he can't win. He can win. But I can't listen to him telling me about the women in his life now. You've lost your chance to do that with his track record. You lost it. You haven't lost a chance to win an Oscar, and you haven't lost applause, but you can't sit there and tell me, the greatness of fatherhood. That you can't tell me. Because you just sat there in that spa, rehabbing that leg, whenever it was, 15 years ago, you weren't thinking about fatherhood. Or your wife. 9 in front of the hour, we continue. Mad Dog.